guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody's had a beautiful weekend and a beautiful start into next week, you guys. So today, guys, what we're going to jump into is some of the new Wet n Wild, baby. Now, they came out with the Gothographic, and their packaging is absolutely stunning. Obviously, you guys know I had to get the shine, baby, that glow. So I got the Moon Tears highlight. And another thing we are going to dive into is their new revamped eyeshadows. And I really love the packaging on these versus the older packaging. Little tip, this one I have not opened, so I'm going to go ahead and do so on camera because it's extremely hard to get this packaging open. And with the type of stickers that they use to seal these, it really messes up the presentation of the packaging, so it really prevents us from being able to put it out on our vanity for display. So I really wish that they would come up with a different way of, you know, sealing the packaging, because it's just an absolute nightmare to get into. As you guys can see, I'm just steady trying to get into it, and then once I do get it open, it leaves the residue of the glue or the tape behind, therefore messing in, you know, just an overall bad presentation. So hopefully they will come out with a better way of packaging and selling their products. So I'm still trying, guys. Hang tight with me. Because I went to record this video yesterday for you guys, like I said I was going to, and take you guys with me. I did get my hair colored. You can't really tell because I have it up, but I love it. It's so cute. But I was having a lot of issues with all of my recording equipment, so I was like, just screw it, let's go to my appointments, let's get this done, and I'll get that video up for you guys tomorrow. But this one, not a basic peach, I opened yesterday on film for you guys and started to have to look when my equipment went down. But like this one, I just did on camera, but I thought it opened like this, which I just think would have been so cute, but it does not. It opens, see, that seal is still on there, because they have the sides and the, I'll just show you on this one so we're not killing a pile of time. But they have it sealed here, here, and here. But the packaging opens, this stuff is not wanting to work today, this way. As you guys can see, most palettes would have a mirror here, but this does not. But these are only $4.99. So you're getting pigment, you're getting, you know, great products, but everything in this video today, guys, is going to be Wet n Wild. Some of the products are not a brand new launch, but like I said, the eyeshadow palettes, the highlighter, and I also got these beauties, and I absolutely love these. Look at that skull packaging, just so cute. These are also $4.99, and this is the shade Pure Intentions, and I also got Mystic Dreamer. Just so beautiful. And these are the Wet n Wild Mega Last Liquid Eyeshadows. And I also got the shadows, the highlighter. So just the shadows, the revamped shadows, the highlighter, and the liquid eyeshadows, and the Liquid Catsuit Metallic Lipstick. These, I want to say, were $4.99 also. And the liquid eyeshadows were $4.99, and then the loose highlighting powder was $6.99, and you can see as the skull has the holographic on it, which I love. But anyways, enough chatter from me. Let's get this into this tutorial. And as you guys can see, I went ahead and done my brows because I do not have their new brow pencil yet. Walgreens will be getting it in stock here soon, so I will go grab that, and I'll let you guys know down below in the description if I liked it or not. But I have my eyes taped off, and today, guys, what I wanted to let you know is I will be using all Wet n Wild brushes for this tutorial also, but it is not the brand new launch. These are the older Wet n Wild brushes, but they are amazing. I use these brushes all the time because I just love them. Now, I use the Photo Focus Eyeshadow Primer, and it looks just like this. It's just a very pale, almost like a cream color, and I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to take that on my finger, and I'm going to go in and apply that onto my lid just to give a nice primed foundation for the shadows. And as you guys can see, it doesn't really give any color. It doesn't cover up really any discoloration. This is just for a nice smooth glide of your shadows to make your shadows last longer, so you don't have such a hard time with the blendability of your shadows, which I pray that we do not have an issue with the blendability with these, but we shall see. Now I'm going to go in with not a basic peach. This other one was called Rose in the Air, which is your more maroon, orange tones. And then this, I just think, is a stunning summer spring palette. I just really love those neutral tones with that splash of color. So let's do some swatches and see where we're at. So I'm going to go in with like a nice orangey tone, this transition. We'll go a pale shade to see how that works. And we'll do this nice gold shade right here and see what we get. So this is the first transition. It's just a nice basic color to lay down that primer or set that primer. Then we have a nice warm terracotta orangey brown. And then we have more a nice transition. I love this tone. I use this tone all the time. There's so many palettes that have this tone. And then we have a nice gold high shine shimmer. So those are just a few of the swatches. Look how smooth that pigment is. So smooth. And the thing I love about these, to touch this palette, these shadows are so soft. You guys know in my previous review, I really was not all hyped over the Huda Beauty Warm Obsession palette. And that's because when I would touch that formula, it was very dry, like the palette had been set out and left open. Whereas this formula is so soft to touch, and I just love shadows like that. So I'm going to grab my brushes here and go in. And I'm just going to start off with a nice blending brush. Guys, you can get these actually at the Dollar Tree for 99 cents. They're just amazing brushes. So if you're on a budget and you're looking for a nice brush, please go check these out. Now, here we go. I want to show you guys real quick. There is some kickback in that, as you guys can see. But again, when you're working with a softer formula, you will come into that where you have more kickback. But honestly, my personal preference, I would rather have more of a kickback than a drier formula. I can work with a little bit of fallout, not a problem. Especially if you do your eyes prior, then there's not really an issue. If the product is blendable and it has pigment and it's a soft formula, I will work with kickback any day of the week over a dry formula. Alright, so the next shade I'm going to go into on my blending brush is this transition shade. This and this are both transition shades. And as you guys can see again, you can see the kickback. It is there. The kickback is real. I'm just going to start blending that into that crease. Guys, I want you to also notice this video is going to be a little bit longer, obviously, because I'm walking you all the way through it. But I'm holding my brush more at an upward angle for the transition shade. Now, once I go to start into that actual lower crease, which is more of my contour shade, I will then turn my brush this way. That way I am blending the contour shade rather than the line in my transition shade. It really is a game changer in the way that you hold your brushes. Which angle are you holding that brush at is what line you're going to be buffing out. Again, if you want to blend and buff out any harsh lines in that transition shade, you are going to hold that up, because there again, as you guys can see, we're buffing that transition line right above it to remove any harsh lines. But if I go in like this, then I'm blending more and buffing out any harsh lines that would be on that contour shade. And as you guys can see, they are blending in effortlessly. There's no drag in these shadows. There's no splotchiness in the shadows. But of course there is kickback. Not so much on my face, but in the pan there is a ton of kickback. So just keep that in mind. But you are paying only $4.99. And they have sales at Walgreens all the time and CVS. So you can actually get this cheaper than $4.99. And you're getting 2, 4, 6, 8. You're getting 10 shades for $4.99. So there we are right now. Just a nice wash of color into the crease. Now I'm going to go in with another blending brush. Maybe. Yeah, I found it. I found it, beauty baes. I found it. And I'm going to go into this lighter shade right here. And at this time, I'm going to go right above that transition. Just to blend that out and soften anything. Barely touching the skin. I'm lightly dusting this over. No pressure at all. As you guys can see, I'm holding my handle way back here instead of up closer to the to the actual top of the brush. I'm more farther back, which is going to give me a lot less pressure than if I was up close. When I want more control, I'll move my hands closer to the tip of the brush. All right, so now we are going to go, let's just pick up a little bit of this really dark shade right here. I don't know if I even want to do that. I think I just want to deepen the transition shade and then just go in with some shimmers. At this time, I'm going to go down just so I can get more of a deepened contour. As you guys can see, that really deepened that look. Guys, also, please don't forget to enter my giveaway. The winner will be announced on March 26th, Monday. I am so excited. So please go back and watch that video and make sure that you're entered. Guys, also, thank you so much. We hit 100 subscribers, guys. 100 subscribers today. I can't believe it. I'm just amazed. So thank you so much for all the love and support. Your continuous, just all the love. I'm just overwhelmed with it. All right, guys. We are now going to go into this blue shimmer shade here. Do a quick swatch. Not a lot of pigment, but let's see what we get on the eye. Alright, and we are just going to go in. Oh, yeah, this is a flop. So, alright, as you guys can see, this is with a dry brush. I am receiving no pigment, so I am going to take my Wet n Wild setting spray. I am going to dampen that brush just a bit. We are going to go back into that blue and see what we can get. It is a little bit better, but not too much. It's okay that I'm not getting a lot of pigment with this because I am going over that with the new liquid eyeshadow. But just for you guys to see, there really is no pigment in this blue. Now these mattes, hands down, they are phenomenal. But as you guys can see, I'm not getting a lot of pigment out of this blue. So what happened, Wet n Wild? What happened? Definitely though, these other ones seem like they are really nice pigment on the other shimmers. So, as you guys can see, it's really splotchy. It's not adhering very well. But if this is the only bad shade out of this palette, for $4.99, you still need to get it, guys. Still hands down. So, and as you guys can see, I'm just tapping that on, trying to get the most out of my pigment. I really went ham with that setting spray just then. Alright, so there you guys go. You can see there's some fallout. Not a lot of pigment. I'm going to try to even that out though a little before I go in with that shimmer. And obviously, as you guys can see, if you use a setting spray and you continuously build, I mean, you can get it to work, but it's not a ton of pigment. Okay, so that's going to be about the best we're going to do on that. It really is pretty though. And then let's do swatches of these other shimmers real quick. Let's see here. So the shimmers are not that great in this palette, but obviously overall, just for the mattes, this palette is totally worth it. Alright, so let's do away with that a minute and let's jump into these liquid shadows. I am going to take the shade Pure Intentions. Again, look at that packaging, guys. I love those skulls. It's a doe foot applicator. Now, I prefer more of the brush applicators, but, you know, it's okay. It's going to do the job. Just going to use my mirror real quick, and I'm just going to apply that right there onto that inner corner. I just find with the brushes versus the doe foot, you just have a lot more control on where that pigment goes. I'm just patting that in. It really does have a lot of pigment. Gives it a nice shine. We're just going to go back in right there. Just ever so slightly, just patting that on. I should have done a cut crease with this. But I'm just going to drag that all the way over the lid. Not too bad, guys. It's kind of pretty. It's kind of really pretty over that blue, so. Kind of living. So either way, we'll salvage this look. We're going to let that sit a second and dry, and then I'm going to go back in and buff out that crease a little, and then we're going to move on to the rest. I will be doing a full wear test on this, so no worries there. We'll see how this holds up and if it stays true to all of its claims. Alright guys, so there we go. If you pop on some mascara or some lashes, then you got your look. Alright, now real quick before we move on, I am going to knock my brush off. And I'm going to go in with this nice little shimmer right up at the top. Right here. And we are going to just lightly guide that over that eyebrow. Ensuring we have no harsh lines between the transition and that highlight. Alright, so moving on. Let's pull this beautiful tape off. And let's get started on some primer. I am going to be using the Wet n Wild Cover All Primer. Just taking a little bit on my hands and going in. Now this does smell like paint, this primer. So We shall see. Moving in close to see if we have any. Now, I will tell you, I do have a lot of excess shimmer on my face, and this primer will not fill in the pores. So if you're looking for a pore primer, this coverall is not the one for you. Now I'm going in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in Golden Beige. And if you guys probably have all seen this, it has a doe foot paddle applicator, and you can just directly go onto the face. I do not like an applicator like this. I would rather have a pump because of cross-contamination. If you have something on your face, guys, do not use this kind of applicator until it is healed, because if you are dipping in, you are applying to your face, you go back into double dip, you had just contaminated your product permanently. As you guys can see, I have used quite a bit because I have a lot of loss of pigment. Now that foundation is $6.99 and it does reek like paint. If you've ever been around any type of paint or painted, you know it has a very strong chemical smell, and this foundation definitely holds true to that. I'm not sure what's in it. I have not read the ingredients yet. I need to look into that. And I am just using the Wet n Wild stippling foundation brush. And as you guys can see, I started stippling on this side, and you can tell it's not doing a great job at that. So I am going to use buffing motions, which I never use with foundations. I always stipple my foundation on, but this foundation, or this brush possibly, is not working well with that stippling application, so we're not using it. Okay. As you guys can see, done great on the forehead, but if you will look right in this area, you can see that there's still a lot of skin showing through, kind of like it didn't adhere there. It is definitely not full coverage. You can still see a lot of my loss of pigment, but this is a nice medium coverage. It's definitely not light. I'm going to take just a little bit more and add right into that one little area. I don't know, guys. I've heard some really high expectations out of this foundation, but not so much for me. And yes, I was going to do one side with the Beauty Blender and one side with the foundation brush, but I wanted to keep all of this Wet n Wild. So we are just using their products today. That way, if someone is watching this video and you guys need brushes, you need makeup, and you need the whole 9 yards, you can get this whole shebang, everything you need to create a beautiful look for near to nothing. And this is what that foundation brush looks like, your normal flathead kabuki. But the only thing is, with this brush, it is very soft. It's not that dense. Like most kabuki brushes for foundations are very dense, and this one is not. So I would look more into an e.l.f. foundation brush versus this one. This one seems and feels like it would be great for powder, but not foundation. Alright guys, so next thing we're going to jump into, we're going to dive into the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. And I am in the shade Light Medium Beige. We are just going to apply that in an upward triangle. Oh girl, this is dry. I've had this a while, but it has not been opened. It has not been used. And it is dry. Do you hear me? When I tell you dry, I mean dry. Almost like it's been expired, but it's not. It's vegan and cruelty free. So that's a plus. Doesn't have the shelf life on this, but most of them is at least 6 months, and I have not even had it that long. So I'm not real sure what's going on with that, but it's extremely, extremely dried out. However, it is still blending in really well. I just, with my concealers, because I have more mature skin, I really love a more creamier formula, and this one is kind of dry. But if you're on a budget, guys, and you are looking for makeup that you can afford, you cannot beat their products. So, let me throw that out there while I'm doing this. Alright, so here we are. We are going to go in and set this. And I am going to use the Warm Light Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder. Really ensuring that I get those smile lines. Maybe this might help my pores out a little. And since we are trying products, we are going to switch up our brush into the Wet n Wild angled brush, and we are going to grab the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contour Palette. I absolutely love this. Obviously, I've hit pan. I use this shade all the time for the under eye. It's a phenomenal powder, and it really helps brighten. Look at that. It just smooths things out. It really helps brighten that under eye. I love this powder. They come in multiple shades. So, alright. And with that same contour angle brush, we are going to now dive into the contour shade. And this is in the shade Caramel Toffee. As well, they have Dose Delight. I can't never say that word. But it's just a more cool toned, not so warm. So multiple options for different skin tones. As well, that foundation has quite a bit of shades in it. Now, CVS and Walgreens do not carry the full range in the powder nor the foundation. But if you go on the Wet n Wild site, there is a ton more options for you. So before you start killing them, check online, because a lot of times they will offer a lot more shades online versus in store. I have no idea why they do that, but they do. And I'm just knocking out that hairline. Same on this side, knocking it out. Now this brush, I use this brush all the time, even over my high-end brushes for contouring. I just love this brush. Going up underneath, contouring that out a little. It just glides so good, making sure that it's cutting those lines out, but it also is blending at the same time because it has just enough softness to it to blend as well. Bam, with that contour bronzer. Alright guys, now we are going to go into some Pearlescent Pink Wet n Wild Color Icon. This is the iconic, long beloved, normal Wet n Wild blush. Nothing new here. Now they do have some newer blushes out. So if you're at the drugstore and you see them, go ahead and grab them because they're phenomenal. Basically just a newer packaging, cuter style, same formula. They may be a hair bit more pigmented than these, but as you guys can see, there's definitely pigment in these as well. Just to give a nice flush of rose to you. All right, so what my little heart's been going after, what I've been waiting on, the moment, the long-awaited moment, is the loose highlighting powder. So let's dive in and see what we're working with. So as you guys can see, this is what it looks like. You do get a lot of product. There is 0.28 ounces of product in this. And let's see if I can find a clean blending brush. All right, again, going in with another Wet n Wild blending brush. This one is just a slight more taper to it and skinnier than the previous one. And I'm going to use this to highlight. Bam, baby, what are we talking about? Yes, mama. What? Oh yeah, baby. But my question is, does it fade or does it withstand all day wear? Well, Beauty Baes, I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to show you. What this is going to give us. It's got pigment, baby. It's got pigment. Look at that. It's not emphasizing texture. It's just beautiful. And that is without any type of setting spray. Alright. So, let's do a little bit of lips and then I will be back to give you guys my final thoughts. And what I am going to use is I am going to go in with, I don't even know the name of this. This is just a nude, older style Wet n Wild lipstick. Just like that. And then we are going to go in with the Liquid Catsuit Metallic Lipstick in the shade Satin Sheets. I love their little lipstick. It reminds me so much of all my little Jeffree Star lipsticks. Same type of doe foot applicator. Same type of little, how the applicator is like, the lid is very short and small. I just love Jeffree Star's liquid lips. And this just reminds me so much of it. It hugs that lip just like Jeffree Star's does. Should have used the lip liner. Alright, last but not least, we are going to take the Wet n Wild Lash Renegade. It looks a little something like this. And here is the lovely little one. A lot of product there, guys, so please make sure you're cleaning that off before you're going in. Just kind of take it to the side. Now you have to be careful with that head because it will poke you in the eye. Now guys, what do you think? It's not as wet of a formula as I assumed it was going to be, but we shall see. The lower lash line I'm going to finish offline or off camera because this video is already like forever long. So alright, so there we have it, my beauty base. A whole face with Wet n Wild products. There's your glow. Definitely worth $6.99. And the eyeshadow is definitely beautiful. Look at it. It's very blended. And after the glitter, it came out very gorgeous. So guys, I'm going to go on throughout my day. I'm going to do what I need to do. And I'll be back to tell you what I think and show you the final result in a little while. Mwah. Okay guys, so this is going to be the first check-in of the next one. Will be at the very end of the night. So as you guys can see, we're out and about. And here we are. As you guys can see, those matte shadows in that shimmer is beautiful. That mascara did not work at all on the lower line as well as the eyeliner. But overall, I mean, the highlighter is blinding. It is on point. I absolutely love it. I'm not really feeling this foundation, but you know, you win some, you lose some, guys. Now, many people have absolutely been in love with this foundation. I personally like a little bit more coverage. And also, I mean, I'll play around with it with some more primers and stuff and see how it works out. But I just want to let you guys see where we're at, how it's going, how it's wearing. I mean, it's holding up really good. It's 85 degrees here in Florida today. So it's very, very, very good at withstanding the heat. So we'll see how it is at the end of the night, guys. I'll talk to you soon, guys. Mwah. Okay, my beauty baes, so we are back. It is the end of the night, and I have to say the mascara definitely is not the way to go for that lower lash line. I did try some of their liner, and as you guys can see, it is not waterproof. It's just faded away. It's awful. The matte in the palette is absolutely stunning. Definitely 100% approved. The highlight, I'll let you decide. It's gorgeous. The toppers, the liquid eyeshadows, are gorgeous. They stayed. They are budge proof. Beautiful. The shimmers in the palettes are not my favorite. The foundation I will not be wearing again personally. It really settled in my lines. It really brought forth my pores, and I'm just not a fan of this foundation nor their primer. But I will say, guys, if you are on a budget and you really want to get into makeup, this is a beautiful line. Wet n Wild always has been a good brand, and they're really, really upping their games in 2018. But for your price range, you will not find a better formula. Their formula outbeats so many other brands that are in the same price range. So I do suggest a lot of these products, but honestly, I'm just not a big fan, like I said, mostly of the primer, the foundation, and the shimmers in these new palettes. I love the mattes. They are stunning. As you guys can see, they're just beautiful. Even the eye came out so pretty on that lid, but that lower lash line from the Renegade mascara and their graphic marker eyeliner is just not a go. So, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please give this video a thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping me reach 100 subscribers, you guys. This channel would not be what it is today without you guys. Please remember to go and enter that giveaway. It will end Monday, March 26th. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Mwah. Good night.